Hello, I'm Angie Austin with Oil and Gas 360, and we are here at EnerCom's 2016 Oil and Gas Conference, and we are joined by a repeat here at the 21st conference, and that is Garth Braun. Hello, Garth, with Blackbird Energy. You are the Chairman, President, and CEO. Congratulations.
Yes, I am.
Good work.
Thank you.
I hear you're having a good year.
We're having a great year. I think that one of the things that Blackbird's done is that we listed out last time I was here a number of milestones that we were going to achieve, and in my presentation this morning I actually summarized that we did 100% success on that.
Excellent.
We finished a very difficult year with commodity prices being low, with a strong balance sheet, increased land position, greater delineation, and the focus on our corridor has increased dramatically, with it really being clearly defined as one of the most liquid-rich corridors within the Montney.
Well, we'll break it down into some real specifics here then, including your presentation, but this is a long, multi-part question. So, Garth, Blackbird recently announced a $3 million cash investment to acquire a 10% minority interest in a company called Stage Completions, a company that developed a disruptive sliding sleeve completion technology. So can you talk about the strategy behind that investment and also the technology itself? What makes it disruptive? How does it work? How is it different? And what are the benefits coming to Blackbird from owning a piece of this technology?
Well, it's a great question. First off, the reason Blackbird is focused on buying this technology, I'll state right off the bat is I'm one of the founding investors in Stage Completion. And so I invested because I saw a deficiency in the marketplace with plug and perf and even with Packer systems. And so I looked at rolling out some of my capital to facilitate, and this was my own private money. I rolled it in and was assisted with a couple of really, really smart downhole tool guys in Alberta and in Houston to develop this technology that would facilitate higher quality completions in the wellbore, more pinpoint located completions at a reduced cost. One of the reasons Blackbird is investing in Stage is we see this technology as allowing us to reduce our well cost $1.5 to $2 million per well, but in addition is that our completions, we want them to stay in interval, and we want a very quality completion all the way through the wellbore. The reason we've invested is I've locked down preferential access to the system. I've been able to obtain this for Blackbird at cost plus admin fee. So as this system, we believe, will get accepted into the industry, we'll be able to always obtain the systems for our wells. And this is a sliding sleeve system that can, at the present time, can be opened up as 216 sleeves through the wellbore. So much greater concentration than, let's say, plug or perf or Packer system. So this will bring substantial value in reduction of cost to Blackbird, but also a higher utility and potentially a greater EUR on our wells.
Excellent. All right, let's talk about the Elm Worth asset and your operations. You're in the liquids-rich Montney, northern Alberta area, almost 84 sections of land under your control there. You have 100% working interest. You're getting ready to spud a fourth well. It will target the upper Montney. Can you talk about the zones that you are targeting in the well and update us on the results of your drilling program thus far?
Well, first off, we've done extensive mapping across both our west to east and also from our northwest to southeast, and we see the Montney having three distinctive intervals through our land, all intervals to be liquid rich. One of the things that actually happened in May, which is of a huge benefit to Blackbird, is that Encana, one of the premier operators in Alberta, basically released a report on the Montney and their Pipestone asset, and they mapped the super liquid rich corridor, and they were so kind to actually bring it right down into Blackbird's land.
It's very kind.
Very kind. First off, a very quality firm and an extremely well run company. They're doing some industry leading completions and reservoir management. And what it did is by their mapping, it looked like 40 to 47 sections of our land is super liquid rich, is what they describe it. And what their economics show is that to develop a section, they would need 12 wells per interval. Well, we see 3 intervals clearly throughout our whole land base, and so that represented 12 wells per interval, and we have 3 intervals, 36 wells per section. So we've mapped our land base, and we see all 3 intervals throughout our whole 83.75 sections. So a lot of value shift. We've increased our potential unrisked wells from 900 to over 2,300, so a tremendous inventory. In regards to it, from last year, I remember I was saying is that I'm going to go out and drill another Middle Montney. We did drill and complete that well. That well came out at about 1,768 BOE, very liquid rich, again around 94 to 98 barrels of liquids per million feet of gas. We were still in cleanup when we announced that. But it was a strong delineation. Since then, we've had in Canada some premium wells to the northwest of us, and Apache and Shell to the south of us.
And we'll get more into that as well. Let's talk cash flow now. In your presentation, you mentioned moving to cash flow in 2016 and the company's counter-cyclical approach to land acquisition and takeaway solutions. So could you take us through, Garth, how that works, takeaway, infrastructure build out, drilling, how everything fits together on your timeline there?
Well, I think one of the things, when you get a depression in commodity prices, a management team can make two decisions. Let's sit back and wait for better times, or let's look at the opportunity and deploy capital and get a higher utility on our capital. And my approach for Blackbird was, we saw the opportunity as being that we could contract to build infrastructure and get takeaway at a time when it was depressed, and when other companies were basically giving up their takeaway agreements, we would be able to come in. And so we did that. Number one is that's given us that, we're in the process of getting ready to construct our infrastructure. It's a 10 million a day battery and a complete gathering system that will open up over 250 wells for well locations. I would say that in a normal time, this would cost a company $24 to $30 million. We'll bring this in at about 18 million. And in regards to takeaway, at a time when people are trying to get into the Alliance system, we were able to get into the Alliance system, relocate a meter to Gold Creek, and now we've got firm takeaway to actually ship our gas to Chicago, Chicago City Gate through Alliance. And I think that's the premium market in North America.
Excellent. All right, let's talk the Montney. It's a very interesting play that has attached a lot of big operators. Encana, NuVista, Apache, and Shell are your neighbors at Elm Worth. Can you talk about their drilling programs near your acreage, and what are they saying about the play, and what are their wells showing?
Well, I'll start with Encana. We've actually looked at Encana on a 4-well pad that's just 6 miles to the west of us, and we looked at their completion, and we've actually been tracking those 4 wells from production of gas to 3/4 of a BCF and then up to 1.25 BCF. And what we're looking at is their completion program of going with 100 tons per frac and moving up to 150. And what we're seeing is after about 3/4 of a BCF to 1.25, the gas rate per frac, the higher tonnage and the higher rates are holding those wells in and ultimately achieving a higher EUR. So Canada's doing an exceptional job. They've moved to plug-in perf, or I'm sorry, to ball drop. We think that their higher tonnage of 1.5 tons per linear meter is giving them great results. We're also seeing that with Shell and Apache just to the south of us. They've been doing higher intensity completions and getting similar kind of results. NuVista, I think they're an exceptional operator. We have a lot of respect for them. They've recently come in with some exceptional Middle Montney tests just to the south of us. And we think that basically the industry players right in our corridor are all doing a very good job. Going to higher intensities. Blackbird, as a note, our next well, we are actually looking at going to 2 tons per linear meter, going with more proppant, a more coarse proppant, and we plan to pump at 8 to 12 cubes per minute using the stage completion system. We're going to actually go open hole, 40 stages, but with even higher tonnage than what Encana has done. We believe, we're not trying to be the preeminent completer in there, but we think that this will result in a higher EUR and a higher liquids recovery.
Well, let's go back to your presentation. Garth, you say that Blackbird is transitioning from exploration to development in 2016. Can you take us through your drilling location inventory, the spacing, the lateral lengths? What's the timeline to develop the asset? And what do you need to do in terms of processing and takeaway infrastructure? And how much capital will you need to ramp up the program?
first off, we should probably break these into a few smaller questions,
you
but
wanna
that is a
look- yeah.
whopper.
Oh, I know.
But we're
I
going to
know.
do it, Angie.
All right,
Let's
we can
go
do
there.
it.
First
Let's
off,
do it.
we're going to do a western well, which is going to be in Upper Montney, which is the closest to what was previously an Encana well, the 13 to 22. It's now owned by a company called Canadian Non-Operated, which is backed by Grafton Riverstone. So we're doing a low-risk well to the west of our lands, Upper Montney. We're focusing to the Upper Montney because it's so liquid rich. Then we'll step out about 8 miles to the east and do a middle Montney.
Okay.
Okay, and both of those wells will continue to do large delineation through our acreage. In regards to where we're going on takeaway, we should have our infrastructure completed sometime between November and December. We'll be
Okay.
on stream to go into full production. This is important because we move to cash flow. And our takeaway, we will actually be shipping our gas down to Gold Creek. We have full firm sour processing there for 6.3 million feet a day. We can actually increase that and also increase our firm takeaway. So we will actually go, which is really nice, we are going to cash flow at the end of this year, early next year, which is
right.
important because for investors looking at us,
Yeah.
they'd say to us, Garth, how many more wells can you drill? Well, I'm messaging we have 2 more wells within us, comfortably within our cash that we have on hand. We can build our infrastructure, and then we're in cash flow, and we use our cash flow to continue to drill and delineate.
Excellent. You broke that question down nicely. Are you
you.
enjoying the conference? Calgary, similar weather to Denver, nice. You enjoying yourself? What's the conference like?
I love it. You know what I'm going to tell you is, I have to say is Denver is exceptional, first off. I went out for dinner last night, and the community's vibrant.
Yeah.
And Calgary, I love Calgary. Alberta's my home province, but the energy is not the same. We've had a fairly significant setback. We're very happy with the developments within Blackbird, and because we're in the liquid rich, we're getting a lot of attention. But there's a
Right.
lot of companies that have a lot of debt and are marginal on their production right now. There's put a lot of stress into our community.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to come to the EnerCom conference. First off, I think that Greg and Aaron do a tremendous job. The investors, and when I came to and did my presentation, I have to say my room was full.
Great.
It was fuller than last year, so that must be
good.
a positive thing.
Yeah.
Maybe a stock that's moving up.
Yeah, you're a good speaker.
Does that?
You're not boring.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not boring.
No,
and by
not
the
at
way,
all.
Angie, I'm going to share this.
Yes, please do.
I have so looked forward to this interview.
Oh, look at you.
No,
charmer.
really. It's
You oil
been,
and gas charmer.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
let me put it there. But I want to finish with something.
Okay, yes, please do.
And what I want to finish on is our social commitment.
Yeah.
Last year when I came, I said we're going to plant some trees, and I made a commitment that over the life of Blackbird, we would plant 100,000 trees. To date, we've planted 51,000
that's
trees.
wonderful.
This is a 100-year commitment. These
Yeah.
trees cannot be harvested.
Yeah.
Last year and the year before, we probably took down 400 to 500 trees. And we've planted 51,000. At this conference today, I made an announcement that Blackbird is extending our commitment to now planting 200,000 trees. So I take an attitude.
100-year commitment.
Still a
And
100-year
you're hoping
commitment?
to live to actually fulfill it yourself.
I'm actually going to, you and I are going to go out and plant them
Right.
together.
Right.
We're going to go trim those up every 2 years. But it's this attitude of a more holistic attitude towards not only developing the subsurface, but operating in the community and also giving back to our environment.
Great. Well, thank you very much. It's always fun to speak with you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so
All right,
much.
again, Garth Braun, he is with Blackbird Energy. He is the chairman, president, and CEO. And I am Angie Austin with Oil and Gas 360. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to plant some trees. We'll be right back.